Welcome all to my lecture on DC slide wave potentiometer, lecture 21 of E216 Electrical Engineering for Applied Electronics and Instrumentation, and this topic belongs to module 6 and it is my part 7 of module 6. Myself Jayashree and I belong to Rajagiri School of Engineering and Technology. Now we will be discussing mainly on DC slide wave potentiometer. You already know that there are two kinds of potentiometers, AC potentiometers and DC potentiometers. Under DC potentiometers, two are there. One is a slide wave as well as a Crompton, and under AC potentiometers, polar type and rectangular type. But according to syllabus, we will be discussing only DC slide wave potentiometer. So before going deep into the topic, let us see. These are the contents that we will be discussing. What is a potentiometer? The characteristic features of slide wave potentiometer, principle of a basic potentiometer which I studied in your school days, the working principle of DC slide wave potentiometer and the standardization or calibration, and followed by the merits. Now what is a potentiometer? Now potentiometer is an instrument designed to measure an unknown voltage by comparing it with a known voltage. Now, used for calibrating and standardizing ammeters, voltmeters, wattmeters, etc. And it can also be used for the measurement of current, resistance and power. Now, the standard features of the DC slide wave potentiometer: the unknown voltage is measured by comparison with a known voltage. The known voltage may be supplied by either by a standard cell or by a standard reference voltage source. Measurements using comparison methods are capable of high degree of accuracy because the result obtained does not depend upon actual deflection of a pointer, as in the case of deflection methods, but only upon the accuracy with which the voltage of the reference source or standard cell is known. So that's a very important thing. So standard cell is very important for slide wave potentiometers. Now potentiometer make use of balance or null condition, that is no current flows and hence no power is consumed in the circuit containing the unknown EMF when the instrument is balanced. Thus the determination of voltage by a potentiometer is quite independent of the source resistance. So it's an important advantage. Now since a potentiometer measures voltage, it can also be used to measure current simply by measuring the voltage drop produced by the unknown current passing through a known standard resistance. Now let us have a look into the basic principle of a standard basic potentiometer which I studied in school. The figure shows a basic arrangement. So this shows a basic arrangement. AC is the standard slide wire of length L. This is a known source of battery or known source of EMF E. Now this forms the primary circuit and this forms the secondary circuit. On the secondary circuit you can find the unknown source whose EMF EX we have to determine. So on that circuit you can find a sensitive galvanometer with its key, jockey key. Now AC is the full length of the slide wire, and let us assume that B is the point at which null deflection is obtained. So this forms the primary circuit and this forms the secondary circuit. Now two important points are there. You can see over here the unknown source, its negative is connected to this point A, and the negative of EX is also connected to point A, and let us assume that this is at zero potential. Now another thing is that to get null deflection on the galvanometer, AX, the unknown source EMF EX, should be definitely less than the known source EMF E. Very important. So figure shows the arrangement to measure the unknown EMF EX. It has a long resistive wire of length L made up of manganese or constant 10 of uniform cross-sectional area and a battery of known EMF, and this forms the primary circuit. So as we have seen, let R be the total resistance of the slide wire in ohms. So let us consider the primary circuit. Let R be the total resistance of the slide wire and E the EMF of the known source. Now, if the jockey is not making contact with this one, let us find the working current I, which is equal to E divided by R. Let small r be the resistance per unit length. So, the same can be determined as the ratio between capital R divided by capital L. So, small r, keep in mind, is the resistance per unit length. Now, let us see the secondary circuit. As we have seen, the secondary circuit comprises of the unknown source, the galvanometer, followed by its key. Now, one terminal of the source whose EMF is unknown is connected to A, and the second terminal is connected to galvanometer with a jockey K. So, this is the description. Let it make a contact at any one point on the slide wire, say B, and this forms, when the circuit is complete, this current flows. Okay, so this forms the secondary circuit. If the jockey is moved along the wire AC, at one point the galvanometer shows null deflection. Let B be the point at which balancing occurs or null deflection occurs, and let small l be the length of the section AB. So this much length is treated as small l. And let R1 be its resistance. So let small r1 be the resistance of the length AB, and let E1 be the potential at B with respect to A. So R1 can be computed as, you already have seen, R is the resistance per unit length. So R1 is equal to R into small l. So this much length is L, small l. So R1 is equal to R into L. And small r can be substituted as R, capital R divided by capital L into L, and let E1 be the potential at B. So how can you find the potential at B? E1 is equal to current into its resistance. So the working current I into small r1. Substituting for I and substituting for r1, you will be getting E divided by R. That's for I, and R1 is substituted as capital R divided by capital L into small l. Thus, R and R get cancelled. So, the expression for E1 is capital E divided by capital L into small l, where E stands for the known source, which is fixed, and capital L, the length of the slide wire, which is known to us. So, capital E and capital L are known to us. We can say that E1, the potential at B with respect to A, E1 is directly proportional to L. Or EX, so you can see connected in parallel, you can say E1 is same as EX. So, EX is equal to E1, which is a function of L. Thus, unknown EX can be computed using this equation, direct relationship, linear relationship. So, this is the basic principle of a potentiometer. Now, let us keenly look into the slide wave potentiometer. Actually, when we are working with the DC slide wave potentiometer, two steps are there. One, when the switch is put into the calibrate knob, it will be calibrated, and when it is used for measurement purposes, the switch S has to be kept in the operate position. So, figure shows the schematic diagram of a DC slide wave potentiometer. When switch S is in the operate position and the galvanometer key is open, so you are having only the primary circuit, the battery E supplies the working current I through the rheostat RH and the slide wire. The working current through the slide wire can be set by changing the rheostat setting. So, we are talking about the primary circuit. There is no connection over here, so only the primary circuit is active. The method of measuring the unknown voltage, yes, measurement, depends upon finding the position of the sliding contact such that the galvanometer shows zero deflection when the galvanometer key is closed. So, zero deflection means null. That means the unknown voltage EX is equal to the voltage drop E1 across the portion AC of the slide wire. And we have already seen E1 is directly proportional to L. Thus, the determination of the value of unknown voltage now becomes a matter of evaluating the voltage drop E1 along the portion AC of the slide wire. Now, the slide wire has a uniform cross-sectional area made of manganene or constant N and of uniform resistance along its entire length, a calibrated scale n centimeter and fractions of centimeter is placed above the slide wire so that the sliding contact can be placed accurately at any desired position along the slide wire. You can see a meter scale over there. Since the resistance of the slide wire R is known accurately, the voltage drop along the slide wire can be controlled by adjusting the value of working current. And that is known as the standardization. So what is standardization? The process of adjusting the working current so as to match the voltage drop across a portion of the slide wire against a standard reference source is known as the standardization. And we'll see how standardization can be done. Standardization is otherwise known as calibration. So now we'll be discussing standardization or calibration of a potentiometer. So you are quite familiar with the diagram. The slide wire as shown in figure has let us assume that it has a total length of 200 centimeter, L equal to 200 centimeter, and a resistance of 200 ohm. For simplicity, we have taken similar values. So R, capital R is equal to 200. The EMF of the standard cell, which is available in a market, is having a value like 1.0186 volt. Now, when the switch S is thrown to the calibrate position, so first step is calibration. So, switch S thrown to calibrate position and the sliding contact is placed at 101.86 centimeter mark on the slide wire scale. The rheostat RH is now adjusted so as to vary the working current. This adjustment is carried on till the galvanometer shows null deflection when the key is pressed. Under these conditions, what does it mean? The voltage drop along 101.86 centimeter portion of the slide wire, that is section AB, is equal to standard cell voltage, which is equal to 1.0186 volt. So E1 is equal to 1.0186 volt. Since 101.86 centimeter portion of the slide wire, that is section AB, has a resistance of 101.86 ohm, the working current in fact has been adjusted to a value. The working current now is I is equal to E divided by R for the section AB. So it is 1.0186 divided by 101.86, which is equal to 0.01 amps, or we can say it as 10 milliamps. The voltage at any point along the slide wire is thus proportional to a length of the slide wire. This voltage is obtained just by converting the calibrated length into corresponding voltage simply by placing the decimal point in the proper position. Suppose you are getting null deflection for 153.6 centimeter, then the unknown voltage stands as 1.536 volt. Now, if the potentiometer has been calibrated once, its working current is never changed. That's also very important. So, this is regarding the standardization. While conducting experiment on DC slide wire potentiometer, the standardization or calibration is the first step, followed by the measurement. Now, the merits. These merits we have already seen in the features. Anyway, just have a look. High degree of accuracy. Unlike deflection methods, comparison methods does not have pointer. Instead, accuracy depends upon accuracy of the known voltage source or standard cell. No current flows under balanced condition. Hence, no power consumption. No effect of source resistance. That also we have discussed. Used for voltage measurement, but can also be used for current measurement if the resistance is known. If you are having a standard resistance. Standard method of calibration of ammeter, ammeters, voltmeters and wattmeters. So this can be considered as using DC slide wire potentiometer. It can be considered for standardization of ammeters, voltmeters and wattmeters. Now the reference books, Electrical Measurements and Measuring Instruments by R.K. Rajput. A course in electronic and electrical measurements and instrumentation by J.B. Gupta, and I have even listened to the NPTEL video online course Electrical Measurement and Electronic Instruments, lecture 32 by Professor Avishek Chatterjee of IIT Kharagpur. That's all. Thank you.